As a psychiatrist, I see this mistake with ADHD and anxiety almost every day in my clinic. People keep adjusting meds, pushing harder, and blaming themselves, but they're missing the brain loop that keeps them stuck. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this loop works and what to do about it, because it makes all the difference. Hi, I'm Dr. Air, integrative psychiatrist and lifestyle physician. This is what your brain feels like when you have both ADHD and anxiety. Scrambled. Every time you try to solve one side, another gets scrambled. You try to focus, anxiety spikes. You try to calm down, but your focus is all over the place. I see this in my clinic almost every single day. Adults with ADHD and anxiety. But no one ever explains how they feed each other. Stick around because in a minute, I'll show you the one brain chemical that is central to both. But first, let me tell you about Marcus. He's 42, high-performing software engineer, father of two. He came to me saying, I can't finish anything. My mind is everywhere. I'm constantly worried. I'm forgetting something important, and I can't sleep because my brain won't shut off. He had been diagnosed with ADHD years ago. Took Adderall, it helped for a while, but lately it made him feel wired, jittery, and more anxious. So he stopped taking it, and then his focus got even worse. Does that sound familiar? You're trying to manage your career, maybe you're raising kids, maybe you're caring for aging parents. You have real responsibilities, real deadlines, real consequences if you drop the ball, and your brain feels like it's working against you. Here's what's really happening. ADHD and anxiety share some brain circuits, particularly those involved in attention and connectivity. Both involve your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation. When your prefrontal cortex is underactive, this can create ADHD-like symptoms, distraction, impulsivity, difficulty finishing tasks. But when your amygdala, your brain's alarm system, is overactive, you get anxiety, hypervigilance, racing thoughts, constant worry. Now here's the problem. When you're anxious, your amygdala also affects your prefrontal cortex. It's like trying to drive a car while someone keeps slamming on the brakes. Your brain can't focus because it's too busy scanning for threats. But when you can't focus, you start missing deadlines, forgetting things, making mistakes, and that creates more anxiety. So now you're stuck in a loop. ADHD makes you anxious, anxiety makes your ADHD worse. And most people never realize they're fighting both at the same time. This becomes even more common as we get older. Years or decades of chronic stress change how your brain responds. Your nervous system loses its ability to downshift. For many adults in midlife, hormonal changes can amplify this even further. Decline in estrogen in women, drop in testosterone in men. These hormones help regulate dopamine and serotonin, the exact chemicals your brain needs to focus and stay calm. So if you're thinking, why is this suddenly so much harder? It's not you. It's biology under cumulative pressure. Now back to Marcus. When I asked him about his life, here's what came out. He was sleeping 5 hours a night, skipping breakfast most days, drinking 4 cups of coffee before noon, working 60-hour weeks, and his wife was undergoing perimenopausal changes, which he said was contributing to the tension at home. His body was running on fumes, and his brain, it was trying to function in survival mode. See, most people think ADHD is only about neurotransmitters, and anxiety is only about overactive thoughts, but that's not the full picture. Your brain needs fuel, actual cellular energy. And when that fuel runs out, things begin to break down. In just a moment, I'll explain the one system that controls both focus and calm and why it shuts down under chronic stress. Your brain uses 20% of your body's total energy, but it can't store energy. It has to make new energy every single day. That energy comes from your mitochondria, your cellular batteries. When your mitochondria are functioning well, your brain has the fuel it needs to focus, regulate emotions, and stay calm under pressure. But when they're depleted from chronic stress, poor sleep, blood sugar crashes, inflammation, your brain starts rationing energy. This affects your prefrontal cortex, the part that helps you focus, plan, stay organized, regulate your emotions. So now your ADHD symptoms get worse. You can't focus, you're forgetful, you're impulsive. And because you can't keep up, your nervous system stays in fight or flight mode. Your amygdala takes over. Now you're anxious all the time. Think of it like this. Each block represents a system your brain needs to function: sleep, blood sugar, inflammation control, gut-brain connection, stress recovery. When they're stacked and balanced, your brain works. But pull one out, sleep deprivation, pull another, blood sugar dysregulation, another, chronic stress, and your capacity continues to dwindle. And that's the ADHD anxiety loop. Now, here's what makes this even more complicated: inflammation. When your body is inflamed from poor diet, gut issues, chronic stress, or hormonal shifts, it affects how your brain produces and uses dopamine. A study found elevated inflammatory markers in adults with ADHD, especially those with gut dysfunction or high stress. So if you're eating high amounts of processed foods, not sleeping, and running around with high cortisol levels all day, that's a problem, one that could keep you stuck in the ADHD anxiety loop. Now, here's the part most people miss. Stimulant medications like Adderall can help with focus, but they can also worsen anxiety, especially if your nervous system is already in fight or flight mode. So what do? You don't just treat ADHD. You don't just treat anxiety. You treat the system. Here's what worked for Marcus and what I recommend to adults stuck in this loop. Step 1, stabilize your blood sugar. Your brain runs on glucose. When your blood sugar crashes, so does your focus and your mood. Eat protein with every meal. Aim for 20 to 30 grams at breakfast. Consider cutting down on your coffee consumption to no more than 1 cup per day. Pair carbs with healthy fats and fiber. This isn't about restriction. It's about giving your brain steady fuel. Step 2, support your mitochondria. Your brain's batteries need fuel. Consider magnesium glycinate 200 to 400 milligrams at night. Omega-3s 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams EPA daily. CoQ10 100 to 200 milligrams daily. Creatine monohydrate 3 to 5 milligrams daily. B complex with methylated folate and B12. These aren't magic pills, but they provide your brain with the raw materials it needs to produce energy. New research shows creatine supports brain energy and memory, not just muscle. Step 3, calm inflammation. Focus on anti-inflammatory foods: leafy greens, berries, turmeric, ginger, olive oil, wild salmon. Cut out the seed oils, excess sugar, and processed foods. If you have gut issues, bloating, constipation, IBS, your brain is likely suffering too. Probiotic-rich foods like kefir, sauerkraut, and plain yogurt can help restore balance. Step 4, regulate your nervous system. You can't think your way out of fight or flight. You have to signal safety to your body. Try coherent breathing: 5 counts in, 5 counts out. Morning sunlight exposure, 10 to 15 minutes. Walking after meals, even 10 minutes helps. Cold water on your face activates the vagus nerve. These aren't wellness trends. They're nervous system resets. Step 5, rethink your medication strategy. If stimulants make you anxious, talk to your doctor about lower doses, switching stimulants, non-stimulant ADHD medications like atomoxetine or guanfacine, starting or switching anxiety medications, adding magnesium or L-theanine to curtail supplement side effects, timing your dose with food to reduce jitteriness. Some people do better combining a lower dose of medication with lifestyle support. The goal isn't to avoid medication. It's to use the smallest effective dose while supporting your brain's underlying needs. Marcus made these changes over 8 weeks. He started eating a high-protein breakfast, cut his coffee in half, added magnesium and omega-3s. He worked with me to switch his Adderall to Vyvanse. He started walking for 20 minutes every morning, got to sleep up to 7 hours most nights. These changes helped significantly. We all know that you are what you eat. If you want to know more about the top 10 foods that make your attention and concentration worse, check out the next video.